Hello everybody. Today we are working in the tiled app and we are going to be making a new area for my mod, which is a new town. And I am going to show you how to work in tiled to make a new map. It's gonna be a little bit here and there for working. It's gonna get kind of monotonous because there's a lot of put this tile right here, put this tile right there, put this tile right there. So it gets a little monotonous, but this is going to be what your process is like. So get used to seeing this on your screen for a while. This is my main town file right here, and what we're going to do is we are eventually going to put our new area in this map. It's going to be a house. We're going to do a house today. I'm going to show you how to do that at the end of the video, how to incorporate it into our main map here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put new map. Now you may need to start a new project when you first start tiled, so that's going to be important. We're going to start with 30 tiles by 30 tiles, and we can change this later if we say, oh man, my map's too small, or oh man, this map's way too big. So we can change that later. But we're going to start with this, see how it works, and see how it goes. Now, for your tile size, you're going to want it to be 16 by 16. If these numbers aren't 16, you need to put them as 16, because otherwise your tile sheets are not going to work for your new map. These ones, I don't think that they matter this much. I think write down is important somehow, but I don't know. But it should already look like this. If it doesn't, make it look like this. And I can't tell you exactly why those work, because I don't know a ton about tiled, but that's what I use. So we're going to save it as. To begin with, you're probably not going to have all these folders, but just save it wherever you're going to be working with it. And we're going to just call it House 1 because I don't know who's going to live here yet. You know, as you can see, I have a home with the character's name in front of it when I do know who lives there. But this one I don't know who lives here, and this one I don't know who lives here. So we're going to save that, and here is our new map. Now our new map, the first thing we have to do is set up our layers. And if you see this, this is what your layers should look like. A lot of the times in houses, you're not going to have this always front part right here. These tiles right here. You're probably not going to have those if it's an indoor file, which is okay. So we're going to have our tile layer be front, and then we're going to add an object layer front. Now, these object layers aren't always used. Sometimes you'll only have one object layer that's actually being used, and that's okay. So front, paths, buildings, and back. So we're gonna click, we're gonna right click in this little area here. We're gonna click new, we're gonna click tile layer. We're gonna call that back. We're going to have buildings. And we're going to have paths, and then we'll make a object layer for each of those as well. And then you want your front up front, so we're gonna select this layer and we're gonna have this little arrow. It's gonna bring it to the front for us, and then back goes all the way in back, and then paths and buildings. I'm not really sure if they need to be in this order. Paths tends not to show up at all, so sometimes I think there are maps that it does use this, but you may have to get in touch with someone with a little more technical knowledge for that. So we're going to start in our buildings layer. Okay, so you want to build your building first. You want to know your layout for your building. And this may be a little bit difficult if you're just starting out to figure out, well, what do I want this place to look like? So you can kind of just play around with things. We're going to do new tile sheet right here in this area here. And we're going to go into the same folder. Now this folder has our map that we just saved, and it has these tile sheets. If you look in the wiki, it will show you how to get the tile sheets. Right here you have to unpack the game's content folder, and that's a little bit technical. I'm not going to get into that right now. You can use the wiki for that, and there are also a couple more tutorials for it, and there are specific apps that you use, and this will show you how to do that. So we're going to use the town interior tile sheet. Now this tile sheet is from the original game. I have not changed anything on this particular tile sheet, so when you load this tile sheet, you are going to be seeing the same thing that I see. There are a couple others on here that I have modified that are my own tile sheets, and we are not using those, I don't believe, today. So we're going to get that in. Now there's this thing called use transparent color. Some maps have kind of a weird way of using this transparent color. So if you don't know how this is and you want to use this, you have to, because otherwise things will basically be in big gray blocks or something. So you can pick a color from the image, and you want to go to where there's nothing here. So if you see all these little pictures, there's a whole bunch of little pictures, we don't want anything that has any color on it. We want these little void areas where there isn't any tiles, and we just click there. And on most maps for most tile sheets for the original, this is going to be like 0000. It's going to be black. Even though there are a lot of tiles on there that may look black, they are not true black. And so they use that as the background color. This is another thing, like I was telling you, you have to have this as 16 by 16. If this is different and you find out later, oh man, my tiles aren't looking right, they don't look good, it's because your tile width and your tile height is off. And you're going to have to upload the tile set again. You can't change it. I've tried. Maybe there's someone who does know how to do that, but I haven't figured out how to do that for the tile sheets. So you have to upload it initially with this 16 by 16. So we're going to say OK, and then here we have our little tile sheet. Now, most buildings you're going to use are going to have these tiles here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. And you can see these tiles here. Now, when you're making the void outside of your house, right, you're going to be using this black. And you're going to want this on buildings. Now, there are some times where you're going to put it on the back layer as well, and I will show you a little bit more about that later. But for now, just put it in the buildings layer. And you're just going to click here. And you're just going to... And it doesn't matter if you might change these later. You know, you might say, oh, actually, I want something at the very top of this map. And that's fine. But usually you want to make just kind of a black void border around your map. And that's going to help you. Now, like I said, you might change your mind later. So we say, well, actually, I want this room to start right up here. You still want this corner tile to be black. This tile should still be this black void tile. So we're going to make the top of the building. And we're going to use these two tiles here. We're going to use these two tiles here. And that is going to be the top left corner of our building. Now over here we might have something, you know, trail off. Or this area might be completely black because the map is all in the middle. Or something like that. Which is fine. Now this file here, you don't want to use this tile unless you're using this wallpaper. This wallpaper is kind of bland. So you don't want to use it if you're going to be using a different wallpaper, which I will show you the wallpaper file too. So for this one, we're not going to use this. So you're going to go over in our tile sheet. And this is for like a kitchen, which is pretty good. So that's another full wallpaper file. But we're going to use this tile right here. Now this tile has that little gray in the middle. That little gray in the middle basically means that whatever we put behind this on our back layer is going to show through, and that's going to be things like our wallpaper. So click that there, and now you can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. There is the corner of the room, and this area here is gray. It's nothing because we don't have anything there yet, and that's good. That's what we want right now. So we're just going to keep on moving this tile over little by little, right? So there is our room. So once we've made that room, we can do this tile here and this tile, whoops, right there, and this tile here, and go down. And this will make a little room for us. Maybe it's a bedroom, maybe it's an office. We don't know yet. We're not there. And then we're going to use this tile over here that has that gray in the middle so that we can have a wallpaper, which is really nice. Now most of the tiles have a little wallpaper section. So let's see if we can find it. Oh, this one also has the little fish, which is nice. That's very nice. Maybe there aren't any wallpapers on this tile sheet. There's flooring on this tile sheet. Maybe these are tiles for wallpaper. But we're going to add another one. How about that? We're going to add another tile sheet. Now, this tile sheet is also from the main game content folder, and it's called Wallpapers and Floors. So you're going to be able to find it pretty easily. And make sure it's 16 by 16 again. And then we have this new one over here. We have this new tile sheet. We're going to click the new tile sheet, and look at that. We have all these new wallpapers. And that's very nice. Now, wallpapers you need to be a little bit careful with, because part of the wallpaper is going to be on the back layer, and part of the wallpaper is going to be on the buildings layer. And there's actually a little area in here that helps you. You can use this if you want to use this for the corners of rooms, and it will help you make your rooms look a little more three-dimensional. And this is going to, like I said, it's going to help you make your room feel a little more three-dimensional. So we're going to have our wallpapers. This person's room, let's see, we're going to zoom in a little bit, see which one we like best. Let's see. Maybe we want this person to be a little bit... Maybe this person works at the Joja Mart. So we're gonna use this Joja tile right here for their room or office or whatever we want to call this. So you're gonna select the top two tiles. Okay, the top two tiles are the back layer for our wallpaper. So we're gonna be on the back layer here. This back layer, we can just go like this. Doot. And maybe you say to me, well, that's a little bit bland, isn't it? It looks just like a wall of Joja. Well, maybe you put in some other wallpapers there to make it a little more lively. So just the Jojas in the middle, or you can intersperse it any way you want to. That's fine. And then we're going to have this bottom layer for the Joja. And this bottom layer for this one. And these are, you have two choices. Either you can put these on the back layer, and then you can use this, like I was talking about earlier, which will give you a little more depth to the room, which I like to do. Or if you don't want to do that, you can get rid of those. And we can put this tile on the building tile. And that will make it so your character basically can't walk through the wall. Okay? And that's fine. We can do that too. But it doesn't give your room as much depth. And I don't know how to do it with regular wallpaper to make it have that effect. So I like to use the tiles in the other way. So we're just going to put these on the back. And we're going to put these on here. And then we're going to use this file. And your tile sheets, it's going to take you a little bit of time to, you know, really get them down pat. So in the beginning when you're like, where is this, 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 that's okay. And that's going to happen. And it's just going to happen. But so we take it on and we go to the buildings layer. And we put this like this, and this one like this. And you can actually just put them together and use both of them at the same time, right? Which is nice. And then you want these three tiles here, right here. Oh, let's finish putting that in there. And then we want these three tiles here. And that is going to give your room a little more of a 3D feel. Okay? And this is all on the building layer. There. So now it looks like our room is a little more 3D. And I'm going to finish. We'll figure out if there needs to be more down here, because I don't know yet. So we are going to choose a flooring for this. Let's see. I think there might be a Joja flooring in here, but I don't know. Nope, I don't actually see a Joja flooring. So let's choose a nice blue wood tile. How about that? We're going to be back on the back file, the back layer. We're just going to put that like this. There. That's beautiful. Now it has a nice blue floor. So there we have the outline of our room, which is very nice. So sorry, I had to pause you for a minute there. So now we have the background of our room. We go back to our town interior, and let's say this is going to be an office. So we've got a couple desks in our tile sheet. So we're going to use the buildings layer. The buildings layer right here. There we go. And then you want to use the top of this desk, which is these two files here. I'm actually going to blow it up for you a little bit so that you can see a little bit better. There we go. Now, So you've got the two bottom layers, the two bottom tiles, I'm sorry, and they're going to be on the buildings. This is basically so that your character can't walk into these, can't walk through this. And then this is going to be on our front layer. Now, it might cause issues. I don't know for sure, actually. Oh no, that's right. I remember how to do this. Never mind. You're going to put this also on the buildings layer. And then you say, well, Sarah, my tiles behind it just disappeared. And that's okay, because now we can use this back area that we had before. And we can get our tiles here that are this little tiny back layer, and we can put it behind this. And that way, when you look at it, you're going to see the desk, and it's going to be up front where you can't walk through it. And it's going to be in the building style, so it can't be walked through. And then this particular area is going to have this behind it. And that's okay because your character can't walk into this area. Your character can't walk here because they are blocked by these building tiles. So if your character could walk here, then your character would be walking up the walls, and that would be an issue. But because we have this little building tiles right here, we can just put that on the back file. So there we go, we've got a little desk. So now we need, what do we need for an office? We need a computer. Yeah, this is a sideways computer. We're not going to use that because our desk is front facing. So let's use this little computer here and use our front tile and put that right there. I think you can have another buildings layer if you need it. I know that some of the main files do, and that keeps things from clipping, but I don't know how to do that right now, so that's alright. We will have a chair. So what do we want? We don't. Oh, hey, there's a really nice computer set right there. Let's put that on there instead. Oh, that looks nice. It also looks like it might fall off, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. I might have to make our desk a little bigger. But for right now, it's fine. And then we'll just have a little stool here. I'm going to put that in the buildings. We're going to put it below here. Now notice you can't put it like right in front of the computer because we have that tile there for the desk. You have to put it down, and there is tile offsetting that you can do to make things closer to each other, but I don't know how to do that yet, so we're not going to do it. So there is our little chair, our little cushion. Oh, that looks very nice. So what else do we need in an office? We probably want a bookshelf, right? Unless they're going to be reading. And so we're going to take this tiles, we're going to select them, and we're going to put them right here, like that. And then for this one, because your character should not hopefully be able to walk up that high, instead of having to do that whole thing we did the first time where we deleted these files off the building and then we put them in the back, we should be able to just use these top tiles on the front layer. Now that may not be true, and I may be wrong, so if that is the case, we will see that when we playtest this. And we'll see our character basically clipping through that area where they shouldn't be clipping through. And let's add a couple more areas right here for books on our building layer. This down. Now if we put this here, that's fine if we do that, but it's going to get rid of that little area over there that we have the depth marking for. So I'm actually going to put it, nope, that's not true. I'm going to put these here, like this. And then I'm going to put this top layer on the front. Now, our character will be able to walk through this. So if our character walks back into this back corner, which there's nothing there, so they might not ever do that. But if they do, it'll look like they're walking behind this bookcase, which is great, especially if you want the area to have more depth looking, right? So we might have our little office. Might have a couch in it. How about that? We have a little couch so that we can sit and read our books, right? So we're going to take the bottom tiles. This is another one of those things where we're going to be splitting up objects. So again, we're going to take the bottom 4 tiles, we're going to put them in the building layer. We're going to do like that. And then we're going to go to our front layer, and we're going to be putting our upper layers on the front tile. That is, again, so our character can walk behind this couch. And if you watch one of my other videos, I'll actually have troubleshooted this in one of my other videos because I was having this issue. So maybe we want a little coffee table or something. Let's see. What should we use for a coffee table? Probably this one. So I'll have a little coffee table. And this, again, is something that we're going to split up. Now, I don't want this big coffee table. I just want kind of a small coffee table. So I'm going to take these 2 tiles here, like this, and these 2 tiles here, like that. So that way it's kind of a small coffee table. It's not a big coffee table like it's seen here. And this is going to be, again, in our front and front. So that way your character can walk behind here. So basically what this does is it makes these tiles here walkable for your character and for NPCs. So your character can walk over here and stand over here for whatever reason, or walk between there to get to where they're going. That makes it so this isn't a unusable tile for your character, basically, because these on the building layer, they are not going to be able to walk through this. So if your character needs to traverse this room, you know, if it starts down here, they're going to be like, oh, I can't go this way. I have to turn and then go this way to sit at my computer, right? And that is a great thing. So maybe we want another bookshelf here. And we're still on our front layer. And we're going to hang this up on the wall. There's a little book area that our character can't reach it, but maybe the NPCs have a little ladder. We don't know. And let's spruce up the room a little bit with a plant. How about that? Make it look a little more homey. You want your plant's bottom pot to be on the building layer. Oops, layer, not objects. I'm going to put that there. And then you can put the tops let's see. Put that on our front layer. It might cause some clipping issues with your character. I'm not 100% on that. Clipping is a little bit odd, and it's hard to tell when things are going to clip and when they're not. So, make our room a little bit longer. And this looks like a nice little office. Maybe put some clutter on here, like they have a stack of books on the front layer, hanging out there on the table. So that's where they've been doing some of their reading. And that's nice. You can also put up things like pictures, lamps, and stuff like that. So let's actually add a lamp. And that will segue into showing you how to light an area. Okay? So here's the little lamp. Now, I'm actually going to use a different tile for the lamp, if I can find it. Bear with me. Those are wall sconces, which we are not using right now. There's all Maru's little gadgets. And I think this is Demetrius's computer. I'm not 100% on that. And you'll be able to explore these files when you get into them. They're pretty cool, honestly. No, of course I can't find this specific tile that I'm looking for. Aha! I found it. Now this is the lamp that is on, and as you can tell it looks a little bit different, right? This one looks like this. The other one looks like that. That just looks like the lamp is on. Now there is a way to transfer things so that when it is nighttime, these lamps will light up, and when it is daytime, they will not be lit up. And you'll be able to switch between these two tile frames. But I'm not really 100% on how to do that yet. So I'm not going to show you and possibly lead you astray. So now what we need to do is we need to make this little lamp light up the room. And this is very important. If you don't have this, you will actually end up not being able to use this map in your game. And I don't know why that is, but apparently if you don't have lights in your area, you won't be able to use it. So we need to go to our map, and we need to go to map properties. And I'm going to go here real quick and look at how I have this set up. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to have these custom properties. We're going to click this little add property, right? And we're going to call it lights. And it's going to be a string property. Now there's a couple different things here. I'm not sure what ones work and which ones don't. I think for the most part you need to keep it on string. I know there are a couple that need the object property on here, but I don't know which ones those are. So we got that. Let's look here. Oh, actually it needs to be light. And that matters. I don't know if it's clear, but when we are using these properties, things like capitalization and exact spelling really matter. So we have to be very mindful of that. And you can find a whole list when you go to that wiki. You can find a whole list of properties. Just like that. You have map properties and tile properties, and they have these columns here where you can know exactly what you need to put in those properties. See? This is the one that we're using right now, light. And I was wrong the first time. I put an S at the end, and it's not going to work if we have that S at the end. So we have to type it exactly in this way. And then we need our integers, and that's what this int means. Anytime you see this on the wiki, int means integer. An integer just is a whole number that you're going to use. So we're going to go to our file, and we're going to count our tiles, right? A little bit tedious, but we have to do this because we have to know where things are. So this tile here in the very upper left corner, and this is every map, every time, is 0, 0. 0, 0 means that it is at 0x and 0y integers. And then when we go over to the right, we're going to start at 1. So this is not tile 1. This is tile 1. But it's also not tile 1. It's tile 1, 0 because it's at the very top. This is tile 1, 1 because it's one tile over and one tile down. If that seems a little bit confusing, once you start playing around with this, you are going to start to get a little better at it. I had a hard time to begin with because I kept putting things a tile too high or a tile too low because I wasn't counting my tiles right. So we have tile 0, 0. We have 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 5, 0, 6, and 0, 7. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm incorrect about that. I'm very sorry. This is 0, 0. This is 1, 0. And those are important. The which way you flip those does matter. So this is 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 5, 0, 6, 0, 7, 0. Right? And then we're going to go down. 7, 1, 7, 2, 7, 3, 7, 4, 7, 5, 7, 6, and 7, 7. Hey, that's a nice round even number. That's pretty nice. So we're going to put 7, space, 7. Okay? As you can see on my other one, I already have these numbers where specific lights are. So it's a little bit nice to have those there. And then you need to have, at the end of this, a space and then another number. What are those other numbers, you ask? These are the other numbers. And you can find these on the wiki. It's for the type of light source. So there's different light sources for different areas, right? So if you're out in the woods, you're not going to want an indoor sconce, right? You're going to want a little lantern. And it just depends on how much you want it's how bright it is or what kind of light it is. Like lantern is a little more orange, it's a small amount, it's not super bright, and it looks a little bit more like a fire. So I usually use sconces inside, so we use number 4. And I'm going to pause you for just a second. Okay, so now we have our map properties and our light. So we have this. I'm sorry, I'm just making sure I'm recording correctly. I'm new to recording as well. I'm new to modding. So we're going to be learning together a little bit. So now let's say this looks nice, right? This looks pretty good. So now we need to figure out how to make the bottom of this room. And the bottom of the room is going to be in these little tiles here. And they're kind of spread out a little bit weird at the bottom. They're not in this nice, neat little package here. So you kind of have to play around with it and find where you need it to go. So we're going to find this little tile here, and this is the bottom right-hand corner. And then this is the second right-hand corner. You're going to be putting that right there, which means we're going to have to put a flooring tile right behind there. Or we can delete those and we can do it like this. And like I said with the other ones, you can select multiple tiles. So there we go. Now that's the end of our room. And this is our bottom flooring. And that is going to go at the bottom here. And these are going to be our left corner. Just like that. And now you say, well, Sarah, Hexus. Damn it. You can't get into this room. Our character can't walk into this room. Well, that's an issue, right? So we have to delete some of our tiles. And you see what I have messed up here that I just realized is that I put that on the wrong layer. I actually put that on the front layer. So I'm going to have to erase all that. So do. So because these need to be on our building layer. So we'll put that back, put that back, and then we'll make like this, and like this. And then, like I was saying, we need to be able to get into this room, right? So right here, if you look closely, we have these little tiles that allow us to make a little opening. Like this. And now we can make an opening here. And you're probably going to have either another wall here, or if this is a very small map and we decide, well, we don't actually need all this rest of this space, then this would be the exit to the rest of the town. But for right now, we're going to be making another room right here. So we're going to be starting the same exact process, which is a little bit tedious, and I will let you do that yourself, and you can make your own little room. And when we come back to the next video, I will have made that room. And then that video, actually, in that video, we are going to start working on things like doors to people's rooms, which will be very important. The next video is also going to cover, like I said, attaching this house to our main area, to our main town. If you don't have a new town and you're just adding a new area to the vanilla maps, then it's a little bit different, and I'm not entirely sure how to do that yet. So I'll have to ask someone else, or we'll come back at a later date when I've figured it out and made a new video about it. So that is making a map in Tiled. And one thing that I want to show you before I get out of here is a tile data. Tile data. What's tile data? Well, say we want to be able to click on this bookcase and see what our NPC has been reading. Oops, I don't want that. Sorry. So, I select it like this. And then we're going to add a property. Our property is going to be called dialogue. And like I said, there's a whole list of tile properties here. And this is, oops, actually it's not going to be called dialogue, it's going to be called action. That's my bad. Action means that you are going to have to click this in order to activate this message. And then we're going to use the dialogue, I believe. There we go. Yep. So we're going to be using dialogue, and it has to be capitalized, and this action has to be capitalized. Dialogue, and then we're going to put in our text. So there are books here about, what do I want this character to do? Well, they like Joja. So let's say they're about Joja warehouses. And history. Oh, that's the better. There are books here about the history of Joja warehouses. There. And that's what our character is going to see when they click on this particular tile. So that's pretty great. Alright, well I think that's going to wrap up our video because it's already pretty long. And I am going to hopefully come back soon with a part 2. And I have no idea how many parts are going to be in this series. Because like I said, I'm not that great at recording yet. So hopefully things will work out. And we do need to save this for right now, even though we're not done. You save it just so that you know that it's there and that you can open it up later. You say, well, I've got to go to bed because it's 2 o'clock in the morning, just like me. And so you can save it, come back to it tomorrow, and all your information will still be there. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in.